Hey, I'm not saying I believe in anything paranormal, but this is something I've never been able to fully explain. When I was a kid, my cousins and I used to spend a couple of weeks every summer at my grandparents' house. It was an old place, big, quiet. One night, one of my cousins and I were playing on the roof near a storage area up there. We weren't really supposed to be there that late. While we were messing around, we heard something laughter and the sound of sheets moving. It was coming from a room with no windows. We didn't stop to think. We ran, crying, straight back to the room where we were sleeping. We never told anyone, partly because we were scared and partly because we knew we'd get in trouble for being on the roof at night. Years passed, decades really. Both of my grandparents passed away. All of us cousins moved away. Last week, we were all back at the house again. My aunt had passed away, and we stayed over for a few nights. Tuesday evening, during sunset, a few of us were on the roof again, just standing there, talking. My cousin suddenly pointed toward the storage area. She looked at me and said, "Do you remember what happened?" She then told my wife, her mom, my mom, and her brother about what we heard that night when we were kids. I said it was probably just the neighbors making noise. I told her I didn't really remember it clearly, that we were kids, and that logically it had to be something else. She immediately got defensive. She said it wasn't the neighbors, that she knew what she heard. While we were still on the roof, I tried to change the subject and talk about something else. She was cold with me after that. Later, she told me I made her look crazy in front of everyone. I stood by what I said, because if I had agreed with her, I would have been the one sounding crazy. If the first story made you uneasy, this one goes further because it doesn't feel distant, it feels familiar. My wife Becky is traveling overseas in a few days to visit her sister and her family. She'll be gone for 2.5 weeks. We have an 11-year-old daughter, Alice, and I'll be home with her while Becky's away. Over the past year, my wife has become close friends with our neighbor, Emily. She lives a few houses down. Emily makes me uncomfortable. At first, I brushed it off. I thought she was joking. I didn't want to read too much into it. But over time, her behavior stopped feeling harmless. Earlier today, Becky told me she mentioned her trip to Emily. Emily immediately offered to come by and drop off food for us while Becky's gone. Food for me and for Alice. Becky said she was hesitant at first, but Emily kept insisting. Eventually, Becky agreed. She didn't ask me beforehand. When she told me, I said it made me uncomfortable. Becky told me Emily means well. She said it would be rude to refuse now. I said okay, but I also said she shouldn't be surprised if Alice and I forget to open the door when Emily comes knocking. That didn't go over well. Becky said I was being a jerk to someone just trying to be kind. Early this morning, I tried to explain my concerns again. I told Becky that Emily's behavior toward me hasn't felt appropriate. Becky said Emily has no ulterior motives, that she's just friendly, that she's married. She reminded me that Emily often talks about how great her husband is. Emily's husband is in the military. He isn't home very often. When I asked Becky if she could tell Emily we didn't need food deliveries, she said it would be awkward to bring it up right before her trip. She said it would be only once or twice a week. Then she mentioned something that made my stomach drop. Emily had given her a spare house key, just in case of emergencies, she said. To be clear, Emily doesn't have a key to our house. She gave Becky her house key. Still, it didn't help. For some more context about Emily, she hugs me every time she sees me. It didn't bother me at first, but now it does. She's also made suggestive comments in the past. And when she comes over, the way she dresses, the way she stands, the way she looks at me, it feels flirtatious, whether she means it that way or not. My wife is leaving tonight, just a few hours after midnight, and I'll be here with my daughter, waiting. This next story wasn't meant to be scary. That's what makes it worse. Last night, my girlfriend was babysitting her 5-year-old cousin at our house. Her parents, aunt, and uncle were out for the evening. She invited me over so we could spend some time together while keeping an eye on him. I won't use his real name. Let's just call him Timmy. Timmy was a good kid. He cleaned up after himself, asked politely when he wanted something, Honestly, he was better behaved than most adults. When it was time to put him to bed, he asked us to tell him a scary story. My girlfriend couldn't think of anything, neither could I. So I made something up. I glanced out the window and noticed a streetlight outside. That's when I came up with the idea. I told him about a monster called the Bunyan, a tall demon that disguises itself as streetlights during the day. It watches children in the neighborhood. It learns who's good and who's bad. The good kids have nothing to fear. But bad kids, when they fall asleep, the Bunyan drops the streetlight disguise, reaches into their windows, and drags them down into an underground lair. Timmy looked scared. I told him not to worry, that he was a good kid. We said goodnight and left his room. A little while later, Timmy started screaming. We ran back in. He was pointing out the window, at the streetlight, crying, screaming, "Bunyan! Bunyan!" We tried to calm him down, told him it was just a story. He wouldn't settle. Eventually, my girlfriend said it was probably best if I left. I agreed. The next morning, I got a call to come back to the house. Her parents were there. So were her aunt and uncle. They didn't look happy. They asked if I had told Timmy a scary story about the Bunyan. I said yes. They told me Timmy had run out of the house early that morning. No one could find him. They were about to report him missing until a neighbor brought him home. He'd seen Timmy running down the street and picked him up. That part hit me hard. My girlfriend's uncle started yelling at me. He said if Timmy had been abducted, it would have been my fault. I tried to explain that Timmy had asked for a scary story. They didn't want to hear it. They told me to leave and to never come near Timmy again. Even my girlfriend turned on me. Later, she said this is how kids disappear and are never seen again. We both sometimes read true crime and missing persons cases. Trying to lighten the mood, I made a joke. I said, well, I guess now we know why Asha Degree left her house. That only made things worse. I know the joke wasn't necessary, but I still can't stop wondering, am I really responsible for what happened? Logan Schindelman was 19 years old when he disappeared. On May 18, 2016, he left his home in Tumwater, Washington, driving his silver Toyota Corolla. There was nothing unusual about that morning. He told his family where he was going. He had plans. He had a future. He never came back. Later that day, Logan's car was found abandoned on the shoulder of I-5 near Lacey. The engine was off. Inside the car were his phone, his wallet, and his keys. Everything he would need to disappear was left behind. There were no signs of a struggle, no damage to the vehicle, just silence. A witness later came forward. They reported seeing a young man matching Logan's description standing outside the car. He appeared confused, disoriented. Then, according to the witness, Logan got into a vehicle with two unknown men. The car drove off. No one knows where. Police searched the surrounding area, the nearby woods, the highways, the neighborhoods. Nothing. No footprints, no physical evidence, no confirmed sightings. Logan had no known enemies, no criminal history, no reason to run. His family described him as intelligent, kind, and cautious, someone who wouldn't just vanish. As time passed, theories began to surface. A medical episode, a mental break, foul play. None of them could be proven. Years have gone by. No body has been found, no suspects charged, no answers given. Logan Schindelman simply disappeared. And the most unsettling part is that someone saw him leave, but no one knows who he left with or why he never came back. Some stories end with answers. This one doesn't. A young man left his car on the side of the road and vanished. No evidence, no explanation, just questions. What do you think happened to Logan? Do you believe someone helped him disappear, or that something went terribly wrong? Let me know in the comments. If this story kept you listening, leave a like. And if you want to hear more real stories that never found an ending, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.